Good morning, and welcome to On the Cutting Edge of Science and Tech, California and Armenia Together, a conference organized by the USC Dornsife Institute of Armenian Studies in partnership with the Armenian Society of Fellows. I hope that many of you sitting in this auditorium today are asking the following question. Why is an institute firmly rooted in the social sciences and humanities hosting a conference on science and tech? Here's my response. Because the processes that produce some of the groundbreaking Armenian American scientists and tech innovators you will hear from today, and the driving forces that lead them to collaborate, invest, and engage with Armenia are precisely at the heart of our Institute's mandate for studying the contemporary Armenian experience, one that is simultaneously local, national, and transnational. Our mission at the Institute is to advance knowledge of the present-day Armenian world through the study of the Republic of Armenia and the global Armenian diaspora. For a nation long in civilization, short on statecraft, with a landlocked state in a tough neighborhood, dealing with post-war trauma and the loss of a historic homeland, tech and science are no longer a luxury or a point of pride, but a necessity. So much of the scientific, technological, cultural, and social innovation in the Armenian world today is formed along the route between Yerevan and Los Angeles, the diaspora's epicenter. So for me, the answer is clear. The questions being posed at this conference are precisely the ones we ask in our research and programming at the Institute. Questions such as, what do diasporic hyphenated identities look like? And how are they shaped? Why do so many diasporans, particularly Armenian Americans, find purpose and meaning in engaging with Armenia? How do these transnational networks form, develop, and materialize into action? Are they mediated through existing institutions, interpersonal relations, or new modes we have yet to find names for? How did Armenia's status as the Silicon Valley of the Soviet Union lead to its post-independence science and tech development? How does Armenia as a state perceive, engage, and support diaspora participation? What is the nature of Armenia-diaspora relations? Are their aims ideologically and pragmatically aligned, or sometimes in tension? In addition to what the diaspora can offer Armenia, which is what most of us focus on, it is equally as important to ask and investigate what Armenia can offer the diaspora. At the Institute, we never forget to ask that question. Armenia is not a passive object waiting to be acted upon. It is an active agent with its own agenda and interests. At the Institute of Armenian Studies, we boldly assert that science and technology are not separate from culture, identity, or history. They are interwoven. If science and tech provide the best answers for some of the leading global challenges of our time, the social sciences and humanities determine what questions need to be asked before we seek the right solutions. That is why our mission at the Institute includes producing public-facing programming, supporting global scholarship, and fostering transnational networks. Today's conference reflects our vision, a world where Armenian studies is not a niche field, but part of a global academic discourse. I hope you picked up some of these cards on your way in. For those of you who are local to LA, April is now officially Armenian History Month at USC. This is the second year in a row where we have planned month-long programming. And you can see that in addition to this conference, next week we will have the first ever undergraduate research symposium in Armenian studies here at USC. We will have an Armenian language hour where you can come and play balot, durak, or mafia in Armenian. We will have a conversation with Vahe Kuzoyan of Service Titan. We will have an Armenian Genocide Remembrance Day in collaboration with the UCLA ASA, a cultural showcase, and a Collective Voices zine launch event that was produced after Artsakh Uprooted, our flagship program last fall. All of this in collaboration with the USC Armenian Students Association. The Institute's global outlook and relevance is also reflected in our co-sponsors. The USC Dornsife College of Letters, Arts, and Sciences, which is the university's beating heart, is a sponsor of this event. The USC Viterbi School of Engineering, led by Dean Yanis Yorstos, who you will hear from in an upcoming panel, is also a co-sponsor of this event. And the Analysis, Research, and Planning for Armenia Institute, ARPA, led by Hako Panosyan, who is also featured on an upcoming panel, is a co-sponsor of this event. I also want to thank the leadership of the Armenian Society of Fellows, about which you will hear shortly, for being such fantastic partners in this special initiative. And of course, I'd like to thank my incredible team at the Institute, who make all of this look as effortless and beautiful as you experience it today. We are also honored to be joined today by distinguished guests, including representatives from both local and state government and the Armenian government. Before we move forward with the program, I'm excited to share a video about our flagship oral history program at the Institute, titled California History Through Armenian Experiences. Supported by the California State Library, this initiative documents the life stories of Armenians across the Golden State, offering a powerful lens into nearly 150 years of Armenian American life. These interviews form an accessible, indexed archive available through both USC and the state libraries. They highlight how individual life stories intersect with world events, diaspora development, homeland development, and California's own history, creating invaluable resources for scholars, educators, and the public. And it wouldn't have been possible without the vision and mediation of Armenian American state and local leaders such as Adrin Nazarian, bringing us full circle into our thematic arc for today. So thank you for joining us today. I know it's not easy to take a weekend day and dedicate it to a conference. We invite you to engage, reflect, and help build the future of innovation between California and Armenia.
Good morning. Every time I come to California, I fall in love with this place. On behalf of myself and the Armenian Society of Fellows, I would like to welcome you all for, as Shushan said, on a Saturday morning, giving up to come to be here to talk about the cutting edge of science and technology, California and Armenia together. I would like to especially thank this morning all of our distinguished and honored guests that have come to represent the state of California, the Republic of Armenia, and especially our patrons and supporters who've made this conference possible. During Soviet times, Armenia was akin to Silicon Valley of the Soviet republics. And you saw in this video how amazing the engagement of the Armenian community has been in the economy of the state of California. That engagement is an important part of what has made California the fourth largest economy in the world if we just compare globally. In 2019, the governor of California signed an MOU with the Republic of Armenia to expand the already very strong and existing collaborations of the state of California with the Republic of Armenia. Specifically, this MOU was focused on higher education, on science and development research, innovation and implementation of new innovation technology sector of California with the Republic of Armenia. On the cutting edge of science and technology, California and the Republic of Armenia together. I love the title, and it's appropriate for what we're about to do today to open a new leaf in our historical page. The undertaking of this event started with the Armenian Society of Fellows and all of its partner organizations. This has been a tremendous effort of all the partner organizations that have helped ASOF come to fruition. Many of you are ASOF members, but you might want to ask, what is ASOF? Who are we? Well, we are an international network of experts. Experts, faculty, academics, specialists in all areas of science, engineering, social sciences, and the humanities. We have in our membership of 357 members today, 298 specializations in science, engineering, in all those areas. The organization is new. It's only 3 years old. It was founded in 2022, and the organization is registered in the United States, in France, and in the Republic of Armenia. A part of our mission of the Armenian Society of Fellows is to help Armenia's educational and research institutions rise up to the global level. Our vision, a part of our vision for doing that, is to help achieve the full potential that the Armenian nation is capable of. I would like to point to some successes of the Armenian Society of Fellows in this short 3 years. The Armenian Society of Fellows has been able to secure the largest computational infrastructure in the region. It's funded by the government of Armenia at $8.5 million. In 2024, ASOF launched the Armenian Cultural Heritage Program. This program was an initiative to both promote and protect Armenian cultural heritage in Armenia and elsewhere. Our cultural heritage objects are being, as you are quite well aware, being ignored or destroyed in various efforts. In 2025, just this year, we launched the Advanced Research in Computational Sciences Initiative. We call it the ARCS Initiative. It's a program for systematically attracting scholars from outside of Armenia to go to Armenia, to visit, to lecture, and to collaborate on all kinds of topics. In 2024, we also established the Etika Center. This is a center at American University of Armenia. It's a center for ethics in public affairs, and it's a horizon widening grant. It was a grant for 2.5 million euros from the European Union. And also, we spun off the Armenian Legal Front. This is something that we have seen to be very necessary, a network of international law experts and attorneys that can monitor what's going on with Armenians and Armenian cultural heritage internationally using the international courts and the international laws. So today we're here to discuss the possibilities of what Armenia and the state of California can accomplish together. So let's hear some of the good ideas, and thank you again for coming.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? I'm doing great, and I'm excited because I love to be around scientists, engineers, and smart people. If I could do calculus, or if I understood the marrow, I'd probably be a chemist or a physicist instead of a politician. But one of my passions of being a politician is to get more smart people into government. And so scientists look at a mission, they look at a problem, they take the politics out of it, and they solve those problems, right? Wouldn't government work better if that's how we looked at problems, right? From a scientific perspective. So one of the things I'm excited about is I set up a science fellowship in the Capitol where every year 10 scientists take a leave of absence from their discipline and they come work in the Capitol. Did you all know that? That every year 10 scientists get paid by the California Institute of Science and Technology and they get to spend a year in the Capitol. And about 2/3 of those scientists end up staying involved in government after the fellowship. And so that's available right now. I love the fact that we're talking about promise and all of this intellectual capital that we can share between Armenia and California. And I was on hand when the governor signed that MOU. Actually, I negotiated it with the governor to sign that historic MOU in 2019, because on my visits to Yerevan and to Gyumri, I saw firsthand how excited and talented the intellectual capital was there. And the people, the delegations that I took with me, the other politicians from around the state of California, were also extremely excited by that exchanging of ideas and the excitement. And to me, as it's been said, California is home to 500,000 Armenian Americans, but that provides an opportunity to have a seamless communication with all of what Yerevan has to offer as well. And that's why today is so exciting, because the framework is there. The MOU is signed. Impact Hub is there. The impetus from the state of California, the interest is there. Obviously, we're going to hear from the lieutenant governor after me, who also has visited Armenia and is excited about the potential. Obviously, COVID sort of put a 3-year damper on a lot of what our plans were. But the framework is there to succeed. The framework is there to exchange the intellectual capital. And I have to tell you, when I take folks from California there, they're blown away, because they don't understand how intelligent and how thriving and how entrepreneurial the community is until they see it firsthand. One thing I also want to mention, University of California Hastings Law School has 5 full-ride scholarships, 5, for a California student who gets a degree from AUA. If you get a degree from AUA and you get accepted to Hastings Law School, it's a $250,000 scholarship waiting to happen. I created that program 10 years ago, and only 1 student has taken advantage of it. There's 5, let me say that again, full-ride, room and board scholarships to a top 25 law school. The 2 qualifications: California resident, degree from AUA. That can be a bachelor's or a master's degree. Think about that. And then I'll share why I love engineers so much. The most efficient government agency in the country is the Los Angeles County Sanitation District. Do you know why? It's run by an engineer. But this is a true story. Los Angeles County and Los Angeles City both have sanitation districts. LA City has the highest rates in the country, run by politicians. LA County has the lowest rates in the country, run by an engineer. True story. They both created boats to monitor the ocean. LA City said, what do we want to do the job? And spent $7 million. LA City said, what do we need to do the job? Spent $250,000 to do the same function. There is a role for smart people in government. There is a role for smart people to determine public policy, and most importantly, to take the politics out of those decisions to decide what you want to do to solve the problems of our collective society. That's why this is exciting, because there is so much potential between what is happening in California, whether it's Silicon Valley or here at USC or UCLA. The intellectual institutions can play that role of bridging the political divide. I will tell you, I just was at AUA in September, and I spent 2 weeks on campus. The most exciting thing for me being on that campus is conservative students and liberal students walked into the classroom as friends, argued their points, and walked out of the classrooms as friends. They are excited about their opportunity. They're a little bit afraid, but they're excited to engage. They argue, but they respect. We need more of that. And those students at AUA enlighten me to the passion in their eyes and in their heart. They had principles. They argued, but they didn't demonize, and they respected each other. It was exciting to be there. And when I was at the Diasporan conference, they asked me to have a final thought. What what advice did I have for the future of Armenia? Obviously, I was honored to even be asked the question. And I said, ask the students. You're talking about their future. Give them a seat at the table. And again, that's why I come back to what USC is doing today. This is for smart people who have a lot to share, but it's also for the students to get engaged in that conversation, to decide how they want to integrate what California has to offer. And as the doctors have said, what Armenia has to offer. It's not a one-way street. The intellectual capital in Armenia is out of this world, and the excitement and intellectual capital in this room is ready to embrace that. And so for me, having been adopted by the community and invited to go on numerous trips and to just be around so many smart people and so many people who care deeply about their culture, their heritage, their history, but looking to the future, that's what this is all about. And I always say to folks, when people get down and people get discouraged, I always say we have to be optimists. We have to believe that tomorrow is going to be better because we make it better. And then when young people say, well, how can I make a difference? I always remind them of something that Mother Teresa said. When they tell me my efforts are but a drop in the ocean, I say, isn't the ocean better off for that drop? We all have that potential to put the drop. So going back to the MOU, California has this formal relationship. There's only one Armenian in the legislature out of 120, John Karapetian. We can change that, right? We need to do better in our political advocacy. Again, cross parties, it doesn't matter, to advocate. There's a reason why in Iowa, corn is treated well, because politicians are farmers, right? If we want science and technology to be treated well, we need more science and technology people to get involved in politics. It's very simple. If we want the Armenian diaspora to play a greater role in California's trade with Armenia, we need to get more involved in politics. Today's conference is going to marry those two things, how to get things done and how to use science to do it. Again, I'm Anthony Portantino. Thank you for letting me share a few words with you this morning.